Well, this morning we are unlocking the science of creativity. Two words you don't often hear together, science and then creativity. One's very factual, the other a little abstract. Here to share some insight now is Dr. Natalie Pickering. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
What a fun topic.
So I've been working on this with lots of people.
Okay.
And they're asking, you know, am I creative? Am I not creative? And I thought, let's open this up a little bit.
Because creativity, I always feel like is something, is it a skill or is it a talent? Is it something you're born with or can you learn to be creative?
So it's both,
Okay.
right? So it's partly biology, it is partly personality, and it's partly your environment. So what you're exposed to. One of the misnomers about creativity, you know, you hear right brain, left brain, like I'm a creative person or I'm not a creative person. Everybody's creative because it lives in lots of parts of the brain. So imagination or daydreaming, that's a part of the brain, but so is focus, so is memory. So all of those taken together inform creativity.
Because it seems like everybody, like I feel like if you're going into an employment opportunity, everybody wants now to think outside the box. They want
Yes.
somebody very creative who's going to bring all these great ideas to the table. And I
Exactly.
think that's a little intimidating for some people.
It is, and so thinking about ways that you are creative. So, and not to overthink it, people who can like put their leftovers together for a meal, that's creativity.
Oh, it is.
I think, you know, we know you're an Enneagram 3, so that's a personality system, if some of our viewers don't know that. And threes are incredibly efficient, incredibly effective. I think that's your personality's version of creativity. How could we streamline this process?
Okay. Because creativity is one thing, but it really only works if it can become reality, if it's functional.
Exactly. And that's where that focus piece comes in. So if we get stuck in imagination, daydreaming, right, which is where what we often think of creativity, like music, art, songwriting, there's a lot of that happening. But to your point, translating that with focus, with execution, that's really the sweet spot. So in leadership, we actually have assessments that are measuring creativity because decision making, problem solving, taking instruction, giving instruction, that is all connected to creativity.
I feel like as moms too, we have like our different creativity boxes. Like I may not be creative over here, but as a mom, I can be creative on a snow day and how to entertain my kids.
Exactly.
So we kind of compartmentalize things a little bit.
Yeah, I think of parents, I think of teachers, right, who have all of these children in the classroom, all of these learning styles, all of these personalities. I think teachers are amazing in, you know, coming up with a lesson plan that helps or reworking something so that this student can understand it. And parents, it's the same way, right? Our children are different. And so creatively, you know, supporting them or, you know.
So for someone out there that's thinking, I always wished that I was a little bit more creative. I wish I had that, you know, light bulb all the time, thinking of different things. How can we maybe make ourselves a little bit more creative? How can you work on that as a skill?
Sure. So I think opening the aperture of what it is first, right? And even these small things that I'm doing that really is creative. It's not just painting. It's not, of course, all those are creative. And then I think asking someone else is always a good practice, right? Do you see creativity, you know, someone who knows you well might have some insight in how that shows up for you on the day-to-day.
And then once you kind of get your baseline, and I feel like too, I think we're all our worst critic. You know, you
Yes.
always think somebody else is doing it better. We
Yes.
saw, you know, you see it on Facebook, and of course, this parent is doing all of this, and they're so creative and they're so wonderful, and then, but we sometimes don't see our own creativity and what we're bringing to the table.
That's right. And maybe even starting with someone else's idea and making it your own, right? Just because you didn't come up with the original idea doesn't mean you aren't creative. If you take that idea, do something new with it, that's creativity.
And you have a new website. Speaking of getting creative, you did with a new website.
Yes, I'm now at drnataliepickering.com. So it used to be your highest place, but I think it really captures the work that I'm doing. So
and you're blogging, so we can read more.
There are lots of articles on the blog. So if you go to the blog, check out the articles. There's lots of things there.
All right. Well, good insight. Always great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us. There is the new website. You can go and check it out. It is drnataliepickering.com. We're back with more right after this.